Friday night, I want a chippy tea. Chippy tea, chippy tea. I want a chippy tea. Oh, you keep giving me posh, no, she don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry coulis. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights. I want a chippy tea.
I can do him. Start fresh.
Right, here we go. Hold on tight, you suicide riders. The louder you scream, the faster we go. So, welcome to episode 77. Did you just say 77?
Yeah.
You told me about a minute ago and I've forgotten already. That's an old man thing. Episode 77 of Chippy Tea Podcast. The Chippy Tea Podcast is your chance to catch up, to eavesdrop, to snoop on a video call that happens irregularly between me, Tony
We
P.
feel
at
like it.
Yeah, me, Tony P. at Palm Print, and
Danny Day, Flipper Sweet Print Co. Hey, up. Been a while, hasn't it?
it has been a while, yeah. So we hadn't spoke for quite a while. We've done quite a lot of stuff in between. You've had some life-changing stuff happen, so I'm going to throw it straight over to you. What have you been doing for last month?
Hell, what haven't I been doing?
Well, you've had your haircut, obviously.
Well, I've had a haircut. That's most important. We'll get that out of the way. I buzzed it off. I got a bit sick of it, so I got clippers on it. Business is really good. Things are progressing. Super busy.
Are you busy?
'Cause
I tell you, right, in the industry, people are getting a little bit squeaky bum time.
Well, you know, this has been that talk's been going along for a couple of months, hasn't it?
Yeah, the industry's a little bit quiet. Well, in certain places, certainly around Leicester, it's getting very quiet, but they're very fast fashion based.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you zoomed out and had a look, you'd see there's actually only about 3 customers buying the product. It's been produced over at least 180 machines that there are in Leicester. So, yeah. So you're doing all right then?
I'm doing all right, and I do keep hearing that it's quiet across the industry as a rule of thumb. And I can only sort of hope that the natural progression of a business, you know, upgrading to the auto and just making a little bit more effort with the marketing, etc., and the business is just growing at a rate that's countering the fact that it's generally quite slow. This is American, but hope that's the case. If business was in general busy, maybe I'd be busier still, which would be great. So I can't complain. I'm happy. To sort of cope with it, I've got a new helper.
You got staff. Have you got staff?
I've gone back down staff route for not the first time in my career.
You need to do it though. You need to do it. You can't do everything.
Well, I sort of thought the auto might be the magic button, the magic box ticked to get stuff out the door a hell of a lot quicker. But the truth is, if you haven't got screens to get stuff out, you know, if you can't feed the machine screens, you can't get out the door, can you?
It's a little monster. And what does it eat? It eats screens, inks, and shirts. If you don't keep feeding it, it doesn't shit out perfect little prints.
I found myself doing 3 days of screen washing and preparing, 2 days of printing. And in those 2 days, I could get a fair bit out at door. But it just wasn't sustainable. I need 5 full days printing. And got Annie in, and she's obviously she's got to give notice into her other job, so she's only doing half days. But already things are starting to click. She's starting to learn, and I've got a full rack of screens. I've never walked into that screen room in a lot of years and not seen screens lent against the wall, waiting to be washed. They're all in rack ready. I can go grab them now. It's quite amazing, really. And this is just half days. So there's a lot more progress to be made and a lot more production to come out of this new investment in people power.
And how are you finding it? Because I know you're not a people person. So how are you finding it having somebody in your space all day? Half a day.
It's not so bad. It's handy when you get someone who's quite content to be stood at a washout booth with AirPods in, listening to podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, not bat an eyelid. So we get along and have a bit of a laugh when when she comes through the door and says, "Hey, what have you been up to?" And she disappears on her own accord. I don't say, "Right, go on, go get some."
Well, you're not a people person anyway, are you, really?
But I don't think I am, but I'm not unfriendly. I don't want people to think I'm a miserable bastard.
No,
I get on with people.
You like your own company, let's say.
Yeah, of course. No, it's working out all right for now. Give it a few weeks and we'll see how it goes. So business is going well. It's nice to feel that progress has been made, which is a good timing really, because I've just bought an house. So I'm getting out of work.
Not much has changed at all, then, really.
Not really. I'm getting out of work now.
Have you moved in yet?
We're been in just over a week.
Oh, so you're still missing your mum?
Oh yeah. Well, I keep going around to see her every night. I've got all my stuff
for food and laundry.
I've been out for tea a few times now. Yeah. I'm a bit of a soft lad really when it comes to stuff like that. So I'll spend.
Have you ever lived on your own before?
Only briefly, against my will. It's sort of against my will, so that wasn't really the same.
No.
It's never.
You're an home boy. I know you like being at home, don't you? So
I like being at home.
Yeah.
Luckily, I get on with my mum and dad really well. I mean, me and my dad every Sunday sit down for racing and boxing every Sunday religiously for about 20 years, and it'd be impossible to let that go. So, and luckily, Ailey's very. She don't give a shit. She loves it. She says, "Go on, and you'll disappear Sunday," and she'll make plans to see her mates or whatever, and it works a treat because you'd expect some girls to be a little bit frustrated by that setup, but not cool. At all.
No. So how far away are you? A long way away, or
15-minute drive? So it's in the local village. It takes 15 minutes from work to house.
That's good. That's all right.
And that's on a steady drive. I've timed it. I could usually shave a couple of minutes off. Especially after a race day when I've got that vibe.
Did you catch on Sunday?
Yeah, of course.
Did you see Lando winning?
I did. I'm so bloody happy for him as well. It's you know I'm a big Max fan, but it's lovely to see somebody.
And yet we still talk, but yeah. No, it's been long overdue. I've not seen a driver get congratulated unilaterally by every other driver with nothing but praise for him.
You couldn't see
drive a great race. It wasn't a fantastic race. He had a good car, some good pace, and everything fell his way. But he still had to perform. But for every driver to come out and congratulate him, they all knew, God, it's been way overdue. Yeah, this is definitely your time. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got top three drivers in my head: Lando, Max, and Alonso. In my head, they're the top three, and I've said that for a couple of years now. I think Norris has been top three for a few years, and it really is overdue, that win. I just hope this new B-spec McLaren can stay at top. Because you'd love to see Max and Norris go at each other.
Yeah, I think it will.
Just for press conferences, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been renovating an house. Up to me
eyeballs in paint. You got DIY stuff to do, or yeah?
Whole thing wants gutting. We bought it off somebody who basically used it as a dog kennel. So I got in, and the second I got in, I wore rubber gloves, face mask on, ripping carpets out, curtains, stripping wallpaper, chuffing balls of vinegar all over every single room, because apparently that helps to get rid of any odours and stuff. And because I'm asthmatic as well.
That's the second time I've heard that in last
apparently.
Week. Yeah, vinegar's superb for getting rid of little bugs and midges and smells, yeah.
I mean, we was in here, and within a couple of hours, the smell had sort of gone. And we were paranoid that we'd just acclimatised to it. So every time someone walks through the door...
Dragging people in, come and have a sniff in here.
Yeah. I mean, you say I'm not a people person. I've had so many people around just to be like, don't stink in here, does it? Because I just can't make my mind up, but making progress. So, my life at minute is sort of cracking on here, bang on tea time, straight home, get something to eat as fast as possible, and then we're painting and stripping wallpaper and sanding, pissing staircases, which was the worst mistake I ever made in my life.
Leaving the drain.
So that's going to take me about 10 years. And then...
I feel your pain.
And then adapting to having people in shop as well.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
All chuff and go, mate. All go.
we just need more work, and you finding work is increasing, and you're getting more out of the door now.
Do you know? I don't know why it is. How can I describe it? What phrase can I use? It's like a well-organised swingers party. They all come at once. What is that about? What is that about? Why can't we just steadily come through here? But we have to fucking keep me on my toes, don't we?
Where have you been hiding that one? Oh my God. You have to warn me about them. I do like that one, yeah. I've never heard it before.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
It does make sense. And I'm like, what the oh no. So you've got lots of work on?
Yeah, lots of work, lots of deadlines.
Good prospects.
This next week's going to be horrendous. But it's all good. It's all new customers. It's all exciting projects. The artwork's really impressive.
Good, because at the end of the day, you've got to pay for that press.
I have, yeah, and an house.
And an house now, yeah.
So and a village life, a village lifestyle, which basically means going to a pub after
local pub. Yeah,
yeah. Pub's like 3 doors down, so.
Oh God, that'd be my downfall.
It's a bit of a slippery slope, isn't it? So yeah, business is good, life is good, cracking on. What about you, mate? It's I can see you on your travels again.
Back travelling, yeah, back in the beautiful hotel rooms. This is decor for your new house. You know what I mean?
I'll take inspiration from chairs behind you. They're lovely.
I wasn't supposed to be. Wasn't supposed to be travelling. We hadn't spoke for such a long time, have we? I had a bit of a nightmare. Bit of a. I got asked if I got the 3-week gap between I was in Belgium and I've worked 2 jobs in Belgium, I think, since we last spoke. Installing lasers, putting lasers in. Both jobs had the lasers installed. Now, I don't install lasers. I don't know anything about it, but
just more calibrating them with the press.
Anton over at Pals and Baz asked me to go over and sort of follow it in and make sure that, well, initially it was just calibrate the press, zero the press out, make sure we're getting good reg. But the laser had been installed, so I'm like, I'm all right with spiders, I'm all right with Dalfits, I'm all right with most bits, even film Epsons, and I can get workflow, but laser. I've done about 3 in the US. All right, let's give it a go. Let's see what we can find.
And so it's SATA unit?
Yeah, it's SATA LTS, big thing. They're expensive.
All right.
But I'm quite impressed with it. But it's the workflow. Getting the workflow it's not easy.
Mm.
The first one I went to upgraded from a Spider. So that was relatively easy. It's just a different output device, just a different printer, really. Yeah. The second one I went straight from film to laser.
Wow, it's a big jump, isn't it?
It's a big jump. I call it sort of phase 1 to phase 3.
Yeah,
we missed a step out, and that was more challenging because we had to work out how to get artwork from the designer's Mac across a non-networked factory. So they're using OneDrive.
Yeah.
OneDrive.
I'm guilty of doing that in the past. It's not the most efficient way of doing things, really.
Do you know? I'm going to say it is.
You can get you can make your own cloud. So you can make your own cloud server.
This is what they did. They had their own cloud server, but it's not called OneDrive. It's called SharePoint, is it?
Yeah, I think there's different versions. I think you get hard drives from Western Digital and
NAS, NAS drive,
Barracuda, and they make their own. They all call it their own thing. But setting up an hard drive server, even in my shop, in my tiny little shop, I've got one, and all my work files are on that computer, so I can access it anywhere I want. I can access it on my phone in another country if I want.
Yeah.
It's just that little bit faster when it's an internal network setup. And that might be very good. I'm guessing that's the option we've gone down.
Yeah, the old-fashioned route was cables. You have a server cab, a server computer, and hardwired RS-232 patches and everywhere, and it's basically just running information down a cable, nice and easy. But then recently, more and more people, their artwork is remote. Through COVID, art workers, graphic designers, whatever you want to call them, Mac workers, they realise they don't have to go into the office and sit with the smelly people. They can sit at home instead. And what happened was, all right, so how do I get my artwork to you and your finished print file to me? And OneDrive, SharePoint, Google Drive, all these things can be configured as if they're just a folder on your local computer to automatically download, automatically detect changes. And it works quite well. This was a new setup in Belgium, and it was in the same building but a long way away, and there was no network. There's no need for a network. There's not really any computers in the back, apart from one for visuals. So now I've got an LTS unit which outputs TIFFs, 1-bit TIFFs. So in that relation, it's quite similar to a Spider or a Delphi. So okay, so we're good so far. Now we need a RIP. Before they had AccuRip built on the Mac, built into the Mac. It was just a printer on the Mac. We pressed print and out they popped. The films popped out. Nice and simple. So they buy a RIP that's not compatible with Mac. So it won't run on a Mac. So now we've got a little RIP station in the middle of the whole process. So we've got AI files, Illustrator files. We've got a RIP, and then we've got TIFFs.
Yeah.
So we've got to bounce from the Mac into the RIP, from the RIP into the TIFF, and then from the TIFF into the LTS. And
getting a bit much,
it took some getting round, but we got there. We with a few tweaks here, there, and everywhere, and some help from lots of industry friends. To be honest, Mark at Exile ended up being the saving grace, and it's Lasers his competitor. I slag off his freestyler, and he's in a different country. But still, he stepped up and helped me find a way to get all the information from a Mac into where it should be. The reason Mark was involved is the RIP was Filmmaker RIP. So almost the cheapest RIP you can buy.
Right.
But it does create 1-bit TIFFs.
And it works.
It's just a matter of making it work, but it don't work on a Mac. And it was, every time we came up against this block, yeah, but we've got a Mac. The Mac operator did not want to convert to PC.
I want to say, just install a virtual machine and then you can run it.
It didn't work with Parallels.
Didn't it? Flip.
No, didn't work. So,
oh, God, it's giving me a headache.
I know, yeah. So that was good. Then we get the argument, well, who pays for my time? Is it a SATA issue that wasn't installed properly? Oh no, it did laser screens. Was it the dealer who didn't explain the RIP? Well, no. When you buy a RIP, you're supposed to know what you're doing with it. Was it the customer? And it's this constant sort of
bit of a battle going on.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a battle as to, yes, we've solved the problem, but at the end of the day, somebody's got to pay the piper, and who's it going to be?
And you're the one stuck in bleeding middle. Wait for
as always, yeah.
You dosh. Cough up, motherfuckers.
So it's no, I've got no problem with it. I get paid straight away. But yeah, it's fun working out these problems. These machines are great, but you have to introduce a workflow, a process that's not click happy.
Yeah,
there's always a workaround. We just save it on your desktop as a PostScript file. Yeah, I can do that once. If I've got 30 to 40 jobs a day to do, I don't want to be saving PostScript files onto my desktop because I don't like to throw it away. So then I've got a folder full of PostScript files that I'll never use. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you don't know where you're going. So we got to think of it. When you press print for your films, your system creates a little PostScript file, sends it to the printer, and then deletes it.
Yes.
So you never see it.
No.
But the information's sent in a PostScript sort of style, and it goes to the printer almost as a one-bit TIFF, but it's just a postscript. All the information on, is there dots in there? What's the page size? What's the angle? What's the shape of the dot? Frequency. And then that little file just gets deleted. Once it's printed, it's just a temporary file.
Yeah.
But we've got to deal with the reality of, okay, here's your PDF. Save your PDF as you would normally do, so you can still go back into it, edit it, do whatever you need with it. Then we need to print to file. That print to file goes to a hot folder. That hot folder has been monitored in the cloud.
Yeah.
There is no cloud; it's just someone else's computer.
Yeah.
And then once it gets monitored that there's a change, it downloads it and deletes it. And we got it running smooth. Actually, I was quite impressed. At the beginning, I'm like, I don't know what to do here. I'm going to have loads and loads of little files lying around. But in the end, with the help, like I say, of some people, Mark especially at Excel, we got it running. We got it running nice and smooth. So the guy, at least 120 foot away, presses print on his Mac, and it appears in the queue to be printed on the laser unit.
That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah,
systems and processes so important, isn't it? It's sometimes
it is when you're doing something so many times. You know, part of the reason I have scripts and little shortcuts on my computer is I've sat there doing it. You know, you type Pantone, and then by 5 o'clock you've written Pantone again, and you're like, there must be an easy way of doing this. That's why I like the little scripts that will look at the page information, take the Pantones, create a swatch called Pantone in the colour, and write it at the top of the page. So you don't have to keep typing the fucking thing out.
It's underestimated. You just don't realise. You think, it's only 30 seconds of my life. But then 30 seconds of your life multiplied for however many years that you're printing, sharp adds up, and we get paid by hour. You add those hours up, I bet you any money, you've lost money.
You sell time.
It's a
shot. We sell time.
We sell time.
That's one for Luke. Yeah.
This is a shot.
What is that? That's a water bottle. That's you've taken that straight off at Cooler.
I nicked it out of my airing cupboard.
It looks like it.
It's like my boiler, doesn't it?
Airing
I know
cupboard.
what them is now. Now I've got an house stuff. It shows. It's funny because I think it's always a good sign when systems and condensing processes into fewer steps is happening in this shop. And another byproduct is the place is getting tidier. It don't look like it behind me, but downstairs. And that's a testament to the fact that I'm getting stuff out the door a lot more quicker. And then I'm finding those extra spare minutes to go do stuff like that. It's just, it buys time, doesn't it? It buys time, which ultimately makes you money.
Yeah.
So any process that you can control. No, that's not a word.
Condense.
Any process that we can condense and make more efficient is always a plus.
So that was a while ago, and I had.
Where was that again? That was Norway.
That was in Belgium.
I
had 3 weeks after that, which is what the time scale that we're in now, until the 1st of June, when I was scheduled
time
to
off,
go.
Wasn't it?
Well, it was time off. I was supposed to go to the States 1st of June, and I had 3 weeks before that to do, normal stuff. I have to cut grass in garden. I have to trim edges. I have to, I've got an office that I've made before Christmas, and I'm scratching wallpaper off. And it's like, I would rather shit in my hands and clap than have to drag one more scratty piece of wallpaper off. And I've closed the door on it about a month ago, and I just keep walking past it. I'm like, don't open that door, because I don't want to do it.
Shite, innit?
It's absolutely crap. So I had these 3 weeks planned to do that. I also have the passport issue. I don't know if I told you about my passport.
Passport gate. So I've had a brief version.
So my passport doesn't expire for another 4 years, 3.5 years.
Right.
But with the change in the law now, when you go to Europe, you have to have your passport stamped in and out. And with all the travelling that I've been doing anyway, especially to the States, you get stamped in and out. I've filled all the pages, all bar 2. Now, the recommendation is you can't travel without 2 pages being available. My US trip was US and Guatemala and then home. So it wasn't really advisable.
No.
And I had this Belgium thing in the middle as well. So I thought, all right, I'll get a new passport. I've got that 3 weeks, send it off. It takes roughly 3 weeks to get a passport. Usually less. And then I get a call from America. Can I pull forward my visit because we've got a couple of shops that really could do with some help?
Yeah.
So I look into it. Can I get a passport quicker? Yeah, you can get it next day. Oh, sorted. It's like 300 quid. What? For a passport?
Really?
What do I need to do? You need to drive to Liverpool and pick it up in person. Fill the form in online, drive to Liverpool, pick the thing up in person. Well, I'm in Belgium. I can't be without my passport. I've got to get home.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got like 2 days in which to fill the form in, take a picture, which is going to stick with me for like the next 10 years. That's a ace. Which I'll brush my hair.
What made a difference?
No, you're right. No, and then drive to Liverpool, get my passport, get back, and then the next day catch a flight to America.
Now it's a lot to get done in 12 hours, if that.
It was crazy. It was really crazy. And then I can only fly from Gatwick because I'm a tight get, and I don't want to pay a lot. I don't want to pay $7,000 for a flight.
No.
And I can get a flight for 300 quid. So I picked me 300 quid flight, but I've got to drive to Gatwick. Drive down to Gatwick, all good, no problem. Gets to the front of the queue. I'm 3 hours early for my flight because I'm a 3 hour kind of guy. I don't like pushing things. And give them my passport, nice new shiny one. I've still got my old one just in case. Say no, sorry, this is not working. What do you mean not working?
I spent 700 quid for that fucker.
Yeah. We flew around the world.
Nice.
I said, what do you mean? I said, well, the passport's all right. I said, I've got my old one here. Look, here, there's my old one. That makes no difference. Your old one's corner's cut off. It's dead. So what's the problem? Well, your visa to get into America. Yeah, every 18 months you have to get a new visa in ESTA to get into America. And I got my new one in November, so I've still got another year and a bit.
Plenty of time, yeah.
Yeah.
But is it associated to a certain passport, like a code?
I wish I'd thought of that. Yeah, it's associated to my old passport, which has got a new number.
That's so... You wouldn't have thought, though, would you?
I didn't even think about it. I'm stood in line to get on to check in, to drop my bag off. And the guy's like, no, I'm sorry, no, I can't let you on.
Oh.
Why? Because you don't have a visa to get into America. I do, it's here and I've got it printed out. Yeah, but look at the passport number. That's my old passport. It's there, though. I've still got my old passport. Can I get in? No, sorry, can't do it. All right, well, what are my options? We can go and visit the American Embassy in London and see if you can get a special emergency passport if it's an emergency. I said, well, somebody's trying to print a 6-colour job on an S-tag. I think that's an emergency, if I'm honest. Yeah, because we've got no cooling station. So you know what I mean? It's hard work. So,
there's at least 30 t-shirts need to be out that door by end of the week.
Yeah. There's a kid in wheelchair somewhere waiting for his t-shirts.
It always is, isn't it?
It's always kids in wheelchairs. Yeah.
Oh, the guilt.
So I've stood there. I said, what can I do? She said, well, you can apply again online. All right, so I've got my phone out, I'm typing everything in. And apparently, with an iPhone, you hold your iPhone against your passport, it fills all the details in for you.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, you do it with your driving licence as well.
I didn't know that.
Or your bank cards.
Like a little NFC thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, so it's filled all my forms in. I'm going through
getting a bit Black Mirror, isn't it?
Yeah, it's asking for me parents' details and all that shit. I'm filling everything in. Press send. And I'm stood there, still at the check-in desk. Queue behind me, people going, who's this dickhead? And it pops up. Have you been to any of these countries since 2012? So Iraq, Iran, all these places. And I've not been to any of them. They're all terrorist organisations. I've been Jordan, that's close. China, they don't like.
No, the countries are terrorist organisations.
At the bottom is this new addition, Cuba.
Really? Right.
So Americans now see Cuba as one of the sort of dodgy states.
That's because they don't want you to smuggle any cigars in, that's all.
Well, I've been to Cuba on holiday.
Oh, you have, haven't you? Yeah.
So I'm like, when did I go? Were it after 2012? Were it before 2012? I remember my son had his birthday when we were there.
2012.
I can't for life in me think when it was. Shell, yeah. When did we go to Cuba? Quickly, no time to talk. When did we go to Cuba?
When did we smuggle them cigs in?
Yeah, and she's like, no, it was. Yeah, it was definitely. Matthew was 14, so it was definitely 2013. Yeah, 2013, definitely. Quick. Okay, bye. That's it. Filled it in. Comes up. Sorry, you're not available for instant approval. Not eligible for instant approval. Someone needs to look at your application. It'll be 72 hours. Like,
all that for out.
Plane sets off in 2 hours, an hour and a half, and really you should be through security.
Yeah.
And I said to a woman, I said, it's not come through. She said, just keep pressing refresh. Half an hour goes by, and I goes back to her. I said, look, what's my cut-off time? She's got another half hour, and it normally takes an hour for it to come through. I said, but it says 72 hours. Yeah, it says that on anybody's. Don't worry. It's normally an hour. Oh, okay. Just keep pressing refresh. Come out of line. So I'm sat there in the middle of the airport with my bag and everything. Refresh. Nothing. My time's up. I'm done. And I go see her. I said, it's not come through. I said, have I missed it? She said, well, we haven't closed the gate yet, but, to get your bag through and to get you through security, you're pushing it. Have you checked it on your phone? I said, I'm checking it while we're talking.
Got no bleeding fingers left.
She said, let me just have a look at my side. Sometimes it comes through on mine first. And she went, oh, yeah, you're in. Okay, so there's your bag. Thank you very much. See you later. I'm like, what? We're through? So I'm running to the gate now. We're in. Sorted. No problem. Finally, by the skin of my teeth, get on this plane. 12-hour flight. 12 hours later, get off, queue up like cattle at LAX at Los Angeles Airport. Gets to the front desk there, gives him a new shiny new passport and the Esther that I've got on my phone. Big red light. And he looks at me. And he looks at his big red light. And he looks at me. Just put your fingerprints on there. Just put my fingerprints on there. Big red light. He says, come with me. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Cough and squat.
I get dragged off. Yeah, cough and squat. I get dragged off to cough and squat in a little private room with a secondary interview.
It's just the fact that it was so
new. Yeah, it was just so new. It flagged up as being suspicious. So I had to go and do a secondary interview. Why we're there, what we're doing, who I will go seeing, who I were doing everything with. And then finally getting in here. So yeah, I had a bit of a drama getting in.
Bit of a do. But you got here.
Yeah, we got here. I've done 4 visits so far. First visit was a guy who you speak to these people all the time on internet, He's moved from one brand to another. When you do that, it's like, getting out of one brand of car into another. Window wipers are on the wrong way around, and seat don't move like you used to, and handbrakes missing. And it's just, everything's there, but it's in a different place, and it feels
strange.
Some
natural feeling in it, that's all it is.
Yeah. So I had to help him work around what he were doing. And that's basically been the theme of where I am. We've had, the last 3 have moved from another brand. So they've changed colours from a grassy sort of colour to a blue sky colour.
Yeah, I've got the green light to go for.
That's the one, yeah. So it's been, it's sometimes a little uncomfortable. And it's happened very quickly. I remember talking to this guy in March when he was thinking about it. And then in May, the press is in. And well, that's quick. So anyway, it were April the press were in.
Right.
It took about 4 weeks to put his old press out and his new press in.
What that's about?
No, I like that. And then working through that was the guys at Born Scum.
Oh, yeah, I've been seeing him on Insta stories.
Yeah.
Is this like a brand type of thing?
His own brand, yeah. Nice guys, printing lots of shirts, printing their own brand, doing their own thing. just basically putting the middle finger up to the establishment completely.
Like it.
Yeah, I like it. And one of the shirts was, "Fuck you, I've got enough friends." And I'm like, I like that.
Yeah, I could do with that shirt.
yeah. So I can have that, but it might be offensive. But I'm all right with that.
Yeah, bordering offensive, which is all right with me.
Yeah, I liked it, yeah. And then I had some travel nightmares. That was in Idaho. Idaho is famous for... No, I was in Idaho. Potatoes. Potatoes is the only thing Idaho's famous
for. I thought it was Ireland. I might have been racist.
No, just a little. Anti-Maury will get you for that one.
I heard from Anti-Maury in a few weeks, probably because she emailed me and I didn't
reply.
We've not really brought it up on an episode, we've not had a chance, so probably thinks, fuck you then. My pen pal's disappeared. I hope Anti-Maury's okay.
I'm sure she's fine.
Get in touch.
So then she'll just be shaving her chin. She'll be all right. With garden shears.
Got axle grinder on him. It's like a ball of wire wool.
So yeah, and then from there I've nipped over to Roswell. What a place.
I can't wait for this story.
Roswell, what a place, honestly. It's in the middle of nowhere.
It's a massive desert, isn't it?
It's just a massive desert. It's 32 degrees. It's, wind blows. You just get these dust storms and tumbleweeds flying about from all nowhere. And this is a guy. You speak to people on the internet all the time. And this guy, I knew I'd spoken to him, and I knew he had a different brand, and he was asking lots of questions. Now, he lived in Long Beach. So when I've been to Long Beach, he's always been there, and we've had a natter. Some people say, I'm going to buy one of these, and then you never see him again. Stuff like that. So I didn't think much of it. And he's packed his stuff up, moved to the desert in Roswell. Got a massive 25-acre ranch, which is just I fell in love with.
Wow.
The space. There's nowhere in England you could buy 25 acres. Our last works at Walton Hall, and that's 26 acres.
Sure, yeah.
And it's got a lake and everything in it. And he's bought a piece of land for 25 acres, and it's sort of keeping horses and pigs and cows and goats and ducks and, just 6 dogs running about. And, one of the sheds is a print and embroidery room. It's small, this shed. The shed's only 4,000 square feet, so... we squeeze ourselves into it. Got 3 of them. And I'm like, the luxury of space is awesome. And I did a little search to see whether I had his email address. So, you can search through your phone, and I picked out his last name. We started talking to each other in April 2020.
Right.
So it's like I've been a 4-year sort of like delve into, do I do this, do I do that, which way do I go? And really, really nice guy. And his family, and we've been helping him again with that transition from one colour to another. It's never as straightforward as people think it's going to be, And some people can get out of one brand of car, get into another, and just adapt. Some people are like, I can't drive this. This seat's in the wrong angle. I just can't drive it. And sometimes it takes someone to come along and go, well, we'll just change it for you then. Oh, that's better. I can drive it now.
Yeah.
It can be as petty as that. It can be just it don't do this. No, you're right, it don't. Well, how am I going to cope? It don't do this. Where's my go-to function? We don't have one. How am I going to get the pallets from there to there? We'll press this button 3 times. Oh, I can't be pressing three times. Oh, no, 3 buttons. No, I used to press 2.
Yeah.
Adapt. But now you've got perfect reg. What do you mean? Oh, okay, let's tie everything in with the Dalfit, which is like an American Spider. Dalfit late me for saying that, but it's a wax printer. We'll call it a wax printer.
Yeah. Making friends is what we do best, isn't it?
Yeah. Dialing presses in So, of course, we dial the press in like we normally do. We zero everything. Cheeky bastard stole my reg plate and put his own logo on it. I'm like, well, we've already got a reg screen.
Seen that before,
that's not my logo. so we zeroed the press in. He said, right, can we test it? Yeah, sure. Just get, what's your next job? Oh, I've saved this 9-colour simulator process job. Of course you fucking have.
9-colour sim process on a puff base.
Yeah, with gold and glitter.
Guarantee it.
So we throw this in, and of course it's super.
Wet and wet.
Yeah, wet and wet. Can we do it wet and wet? So you've got a 14-colour press, which, well done, by the way. Get as big as you can. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. 14-colour press. We've got 2 flashers, an iron, and a roller. Let's fill every head. Let's iron everything before we print it. Let's print the base white, flash it, and then roller it. Yeah. Best combination you could think of. Yeah, sure, you lose 4 heads, but you've got 4 to lose.
Well, yeah.
So why the hell not? So we throw the 9-colour in. Of course, it's awesome. No, it's not. One of the colours wants moving about 15 minutes on a clock face on reg knob, and it's fine. And he's sort of like, yeah, it's all right. I'm like, no, that's awesome. So how long did it take to set up before? So my guy used to take about an hour to set a white flash white up.
Yeah, I know how it feels.
Yeah, says if it didn't go in, he could piss about for an hour. So we just throw 9 colours in, put the squeegees in, and press sample. And yeah, it's not perfect. 100%. I don't think any system is perfect. But if it's within a quarter of a turn, a hard squeegee is going to drag the screen further down more.
Yeah.
Low tension is going to drag the screen down a little bit more. Most of the movements are up and down. And in fact, we found one where the studs weren't in right. Somebody had left the stud out. So, well,
tighten it back up.
And, so that's part of the reason. Though. We can move that head because we've set the 0, so we know how to click it back. Now I'm going to remake the screen. Okay. So off it goes, remakes the screen, we slot it in, and it's perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
So if you're willing to remake the screen, perfect. If you're not willing to remake the screen, make the adjustment, and then
set it back to 0.
So we had to find out, with CTS, if it's not in the right place on press, so if you've got to make a movement on press that's more than one turn, something's wrong. Somebody made a mistake somewhere. There's only 3 places it can be. Artwork, imaging device, press.
Yeah.
Well, the most sensible thing to do is eliminate the press first. So the best thing to do is we printed the base white in head 1. We flashed it. Then we took out the base white, got the black, put that in head 1, and printed the black straight on top of the screen we'd just taken out. No movement in between. So we just put the screen in, printed it on top. Straight away we could see that the black was in a different position to the white. So we eliminated the head by using the same single head. And we could see that the screen was bad. Then we looked at the pins and we saw that the pin was bad. But that's what we do. We eliminate the press first. Easiest thing in the world to do. Then we eliminate the CTS by washing... actually, the easiest thing would be eliminate the artwork. Go and find the TIFFs, drag them into Illustrator, align them bottom right, and then see if they line up.
Yeah.
If they don't line up, it's artwork. Then, if we pass both those tests, we've got to think the CTS hasn't put it in the right place. So we wipe the ink off, present it back into the CTS, put some clear tape over it, and re-image it. And then hold it up to the light and see whether the image landed in the same place or not.
Right.
But at some point, we've got to eliminate where it's wrong. Because if everything works right, nothing should ever be out of registration. The only real sort of weak link in the chain is usually the soggy thing. Did I clip it in properly? Yeah. Did I pick up that artwork and nudge it with my magic mouse before I realised? What was the problem?
Tension in screens as well.
Yeah.
If you forget to keep on top of them. Yeah.
It's been a good 3 weeks. Now I've got 1 more week to go. Next trip, I'm flying today to Denver, Colorado, and I've got 2 people to see in Denver. Similar story, new installs. Let's get everything dialed in, tightened up as tight as a drum, and get everything. I'm always looking for a wow moment. It's a bit selfish, but I always look for a wow moment.
Well, I was literally about to say, do you feel like at the minute all you're doing is going around registering everybody's presses and laser or film setups or whatever? Because it seems to be.
I've got to be careful
what
how I
you're doing
answer
over
this.
and over and over.
I've got to be careful because yes, I am.
Not saying it's a bad thing.
I love it, and it keeps me in work.
But
I say, right, and this is the issue. If I buy a press that's supposed to be registered and perfectly in register, I know because I've been doing this for such a long time, a technician can't print. Richard can't print.
Oh, no.
So he wouldn't know what squeegee to use, what mesh to use, or how to make a screen.
Yeah.
He presumes you know all that shit.
Yeah.
So his job is to deliver the press, show you where the start button is, show where the stop button is, and make sure all the heads are aligned. Perfect. Now, how would a printer do that if he couldn't? How would a technician do that if he couldn't print anything? He'd probably get a fine point Sharpie, find the centre of the palette, draw a little cross. Lee, who used to install the MHMs, had film positive crosses, reg marks. He had 2 little ones in a little bag that he used to carry around with him, and he'd sellotape them to a blank screen, line up onto the palette, and he'd do it like that.
You know, I nearly said to you 10 minutes ago, prior conversation, I nearly said, have you ever thought about having a registration palette with your grid pre-printed? And you just put it in, and then you can check all the heads.
If I didn't travel, I'd have one.
Yeah. But shops, maybe shops, something to think about having. Just have that extra
shops
palette,
do that.
just swapping it out. Bloody merch.
Bryce
I haven't heard from Bryce in ages. I hope he's all
Bryce
right.
does that. You know, they bought an extra palette.
Honestly, I was
They
thinking
have a palette they keep on the wall with the pattern already printed on it.
And
then once a month they pull it down because it fits in 4 presses. They just drop it into the press, line it up, put it back on the wall when it's not done.
Sorry to slightly divert the conversation, but that palette, have you got a hack for, when you slide a palette on to bump it into the same place every time? Because on the old manual it was a plank of wood pre-cut, but whereas on the MHMs it's a triangle where it lines up, so you can't quite bump it in unless you got creative with your woodwork. There must be a little.
No, I mean, have you got your grids? You got your numbers on. You got your stickers on the back.
That's not accurate, is it? That's eyeing it off at top and all right, yeah, it's there about, but it's not bumping up every time.
A physical point? No. Some people do use a piece of wood against that back plate on the S type. On the X type, I think it's on an angle, so it's a bit harder.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's on an angle.
I'll invent lasers. Lasers help. Using a laser on either the back flat bit or the front
that's
bit.
Actually really handy. I've got a laser right above my palette. Now I would have to do a little naughty acro to do that, which we probably shouldn't disclose. Because if you think about it, my changeover palette is underneath a flash dryer.
Yeah.
So I'd have to use the next head.
Yeah.
And move it naughtily.
Yeah, that's probably what I do.
Yeah.
A laser on top.
Sorry for changing a bit, but
no worries. I'd love to take one. I actually built one. God, I think it might have been COVID time. I built a whole contraption with pins.
Yeah, I remember. We were going to try and convert it for that, weren't we?
So it just drops in, and it sets the off contact as well. It's just too bulky to travel with, You can't put it on an aeroplane.
Yeah. No, but I was just thinking for, shops, it's just an handy little tool to have. You can quite quickly change and check every head is in line in a matter of minutes. So yeah, I shall do that myself, I think.
Yeah, a physical one, yeah, definitely.
Right, sorry. What was the conversation prior to that?
Just me travelling about.
Well, you're off. I'm
off to Denver next.
Denver.
Similar sort of thing, doing two shops.
2 new installs.
No, one's a repeat I've been to before.
Right.
This guy I've been advising on upgrades. So he's found a used Spider.
Right.
He's got it refurbed. He's put it in. He had an iMimage. iMimage before. We actually had 2 iMimages, one for big screens, one for little ones. And we timed it at 6 minutes a screen. Now the Spider's about 60 seconds.
Oh, is it really that quick? I always thought the Spider was a little bit slower.
So if you've got all the heads working and everything's okay and you've got the right settings, it's about 60 seconds, top to bottom, full coverage. Don't forget, if there's no print, it flies past it.
Oh yeah, I bet.
It ignores white space.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be an ongoing project. I'll probably keep going to visit him to keep constantly improving. He bought the business maybe about 5 years ago. He's been listening to people who don't really tell him the truth.
Salesman then.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And I went into just as a courtesy call about 6 months ago and look, this is your bottleneck. Your screens is your bottleneck. The reason you're not getting anything. Plus, you've got an M&R over here and an MHM over here. At some point, you're going to have to bite the bullet and say, right, okay, let's stick everything to the MHM, yeah. Which is going to the MHMs. He's got rid of his workhorse, got rid of his M&Rs, and now he's just using MHMs. But he's still got the M&R iMimage with some home-fitted pins on it.
Bit DIY.
A bit Heath Robinson, but yeah.
Heath Robinson.
It sort of works. I know, yeah. MacGyver over here. Right. MacGyver.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be good. And then from there, I'm away to Guatemala.
Guatemala, where's that then? Is that like
Central America?
Oh, is it Central America, right?
So where I am now is North America.
Yeah.
Central America is the bit that joins everything. El Salvador, Ecuador, place like that. And then you go to South America, where you go really far down into South America.
And is that the same situation?
I used to call it South America, but apparently they don't like it, the Central Americans.
Same situation shop-wise, new installs?
It's a show. No, it's a show.
Is this
apparel show? I did it last year.
Right. And you just running the press?
This is where we had a 14-colour S-type and a little buddy.
I remember. Yeah, for drying
your socks. Little buddy dryer.
Yeah, I remember that now. So
same sort of show.
Same situation, because make a funny, interesting episode. And
then I'm at home. Then I get my 3-week break. Then I get my 3-week break. That I should have done. I'm not sure. I can't be asked getting paper.
Trouble is, you work that long and you think, right, I can't wait to get home and do all these jobs, and you get there and you get sat down on your ass watching telly and you think, I don't want to get
I'm not doing it.
Yeah. No, you need a break, don't you?
Yeah.
And then, even though I've just preached you need a break, we've also got a I build identity. The word. What's the word?
Yeah.
Lenticular. We've got a lenticular print to make, haven't we?
That's what we'll do. I'll nip and seethe, and we'll do a lenticular print. When you're not snowed under with work, because I'll destroy your day.
When I retire, then. When I retire.
Yeah. And we'll do this lenticular because the guys at Pyramid have given us lots of advice on the film and the emulsion. And in fact, Dean said he might come up and help us do it.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
They've been very helpful.
If Dean could come up and help us with that, that would be superb. I've done lots of... There's 3 different ways of applying the high-density capillary film, or fat film, if you want to call it that.
PH.
Fat with a PH. It always makes me sound like an old man when I try and say fat with a PH. It's like down with the kids.
Oh, you're so hip, Tony.
I'm so hip and cool. There are three distinct methods of applying this capillary film. Number one is using the capillary action.
Yeah.
And that is capillary like in your veins, where the I always remember litmus paper. Did you ever do litmus paper at school or blotting paper in chemistry?
Can't say I did.
Where you dip it in and it climbs up.
Yeah,
it climbs up the paper using like capillary action.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of that method where you wet the screen, hold the present the film emulsion to it, and it sucks basically.
Yeah.
That's one way, just using water. The second way is using a thin layer of emulsion and relying on the same capillary action when it's that way. And then there's another one where you do it that way and you physically press with a squeegee the film into wet emulsion.
Yeah, I had I had a reasonable amount of success with Versace emulsion and the iBuild sheets for fat film last year. I think it was last year. And then obviously I've switched emulsions. So when we had a first attempt, all the timings were different, and I've sort of forgot how to apply it, and we had a bit of a mare, didn't we? So we have had a crack at this, and Dean was real nice to. We failed, let's be honest. We got it wrong. Then we ran out of screens we failed, ran out of screens, ran out of time, ran out of ability. So we got in touch with Dean, and Dean's been very good to give us some tips and tricks to have another crack. And I think the second time round we'll definitely nail it.
Especially if he's there.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because when it fucks up, we can blame him.
Yeah, if we don't get it right this time, when Dean's here, just give up on the job. So that's in the old pipeline. So we've been running.
We'll get that done.
58 minutes. I know I want to keep this to an hour because you've got to get on a plane and bugger off to Idaho, or whatever you just said.
Denver.
So, would you like to wrap it up? Do you want to knock it on the head?
If nothing else, if we don't achieve anything else with this podcast, I hope to have improved your geography knowledge.
Fucking no chance. Not a chance.
Switzerland. You're in Switzerland, Tony. No, Guatemala. It's close.
Geography. There's some things I'm good at in life, and geography is not one of them. Or maths.
My geography used to be a bit crap, actually, but obviously doing what I do, I get to see a lot more of. Oh yeah, I'm over here now.
If your geography was still crap, we might have travelling. You do. I'd have some serious concerns, to be honest.
There's something wrong there.
Hey dear. Well, it's been lovely to have a little catch up. I'm sure it's a little bit short and sweet, but fucking getting timings together now at the minute is horrendous. And
I'm 7 hours behind you, so I've had to get up at like 5:30 just to put a reasonable face on. I mean, I've actually even still got my shorts on.
Swimming shorts on. I'm sure that Instagram you sent the other day was snowy.
Yeah, I went from snow to 32. To desert. I went from. I woke up. I was in a place called Pocatello. And we didn't speak about that. Let's just have a little bit of Pocatello. So I was in Idaho doing the Born Scum Gazer. You better. That's your lass. You've been on long enough. Get home and scratch some paper.
Basically, yeah.
So from there, I went, because I was in Idaho, it was only like 3 hour drive away. It's only 3 hours, you just nip. Went to go see a woman who'd gone from manual to auto. Very similar to you. Right. We've got a little 8-colour press, but was struggling like mad. Trying to apply the manual mentality of always flashing everything on dry. Don't really need an underbase because you can just keep printing it till it looks nice.
Yeah.
Some colours you don't need it. And so she was struggling a little bit. And it was a strange little place. And I found it and I looked and I went, it looks like it used to be a batting arena.
A batting arena?
I don't know what the proper word for it is.
For baseball?
Batting practice. Baseball practicing, yeah.
Swing practice.
And so, therefore, the
thing,
whole place... yeah, they all come at once.
You'll remember that one, won't you?
Stuck. So I get into the place, and a machine and everything's there, but so is the AstroTurf.
Oh, it is. That's where that picture came from.
The AstroTurf was still there from when they had the batting practice in there. I'm like, oh, you've left it down. Plastisol ink, spray tack, glue, and AstroTurf. Do you know what?
Over it.
It works fantastic.
Oh, it does, yeah, you just over it.
I'm so surprised. Well, she's not using much spray tack. Did you?
Don't you remember? I used to have a shop with a big glass front window, a big showroom, and it was all AstroTurf. Oh, yeah. This was ages ago. This is when I nearly went bankrupt and crippled my entire life. But yeah, the best part about that whole, you know, it's all coming back. But the only good positive thing I can think about that entire time was I had AstroTurf floor in my shop. It was really, really nice. I used to over it. You'd think it'd be horrendous, and since those days, I have counters everywhere with like AstroTurf as countertops. Perfect for sorting t-shirts out. But every now and again, you just want over of it. So really good. It was cool.
It worked really well. I was really surprised. I said, "Well, what about when you spilled plastisol on it?" She went, "We just wiped up.
Plastic.
It just wiped up because it's plastic." Yeah.
You even put a bit of chemical on it. It don't hurt it.
No. I was really surprised, and it looked really cool, and it felt really good. A little dog running about, you know, and I'm like, actually, I quite like this. Yeah. It worked really well.
I saw that picture. I said to Haley, and I said, "I fucked up, Anna. Why didn't I just put AstroTurf down? It would look so much better."
Yeah, I think you should still do it.
Well, we went and ordered a carpet over there, and he had rolls and rolls of offcuts. I mean,
you're living the dream, you aren't you?
I'm not. I fucking think it's a nightmare, but
offcuts of AstroTurf.
Yeah, we call them offcuts, but actually the big, massive meters and meters and meters of this stuff that quite cheap. And I thought, I'm gonna walk away with one of them rolls. You know, I'm very tempted.
I'd do it. I would definitely do it. I thought it was ace instead of standing on a concrete floor as well.
Oh, yeah, so much nicer. Yeah.
Oh, I feel so much better, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's on the list.
You'll start seeing them pop up everywhere now. Shops will have AstroTurf. I'm going to claim OG of that one.
Yeah,
so I'm going to dig old pictures up. I'm calling first dibs on that.
Instagram. Put it on Instagram, then it's there for everybody to see.
I will, yeah. Right. All the best, Tony, mate. Good to chat. Let's try and do one next week if we can.
Yeah, we'll do one next week. I don't think I'm only about 5 or 6 hours behind, so
yeah, a bit more workable. Yeah. Try and get some more guests on. Apparently they've gone down quite well.
Yeah.
So we'll try that. Apparently we're just a bit boring for you. On us own.
Yeah, I'm a bit boring for me.
Yeah, true. No arguments. Oh, actually, I did speak to our mate, Joe. No, not Joe. We'll talk about Luke. Let's just he's got a question for us. Has he got a question for us? I asked him if he's got any questions. Going for the jugular. Is DTF fucking ruin everything? Yeah.
So is this Mitford?
Yeah. I said, we're doing a new episode tomorrow. Any requests? And he said, going for the jugular. Is DTF fucking ruining everything?
Okay,
in
so
short,
let's give it...
Because I know he has to run. No, it's a lovely little complimentary tool.
It is a complimentary tool. It is everything that DTG promised it would be. And I know Luke is a DTG guy. Is it killing DTG? Yeah, it is. It's replacing it. Is it still a transfer? Yeah, still a transfer. That's exactly what it is. The old Roland print and cut on Easy Weed or Easy Print, what it was called.
Yeah, something like that.
It's that in a matte format. It is exactly that, but we don't have to weed it. The industry is calling for high colour count, small quantity, and DTG was supposed to promise that, but then the hard bit of DTG has to be cotton, has to be the right kind of shirt. You have to get the pre-treat right.
Yeah.
Nothing about expense, nothing about ease of use. It's just these limitations of the pre-treat. It's a limitation. If you get Luke in and he dials it all in for you, everything's easy. But if you don't have access to an expert, you don't find out it's crap until you try and print the shirt. And then no matter what you do, it won't print because you didn't put enough pre-treat on it, or you put too much on, or you've left a snot mark all the way around. And we've developed ways of getting rid of the snot mark. We've developed ways of making sure that the pre-treat's right and all the settings on the printer are right, but we've had to work backwards at it. DTF is a little simpler in that there is no wet fluid other than the ink.
Yeah.
So we've missed out all the messy, hard to learn parts. And
Luke,
it is still a transfer.
Luke should jump on and in DTG's defence, because I'm sure he will.
All right, yeah, let's do that.
I feel like that'd be a fair thing to do.
I mean, with mine and your Yorkshire accent and his Wolverhampton accent, we're screwed.
Oh, it'll be interesting enough anyway. Yeah, the Americans will love it.
Yeah.
I had a job the other day. I had a Pride job come in, and you know full well I'm not screen printing that. So DTF was the only option.
Yeah.
Perfect for stuff like that. DTF covers the Pride market, basically, for honest.
Yeah. In June, everybody's going to be DTFing.
Yeah, definitely.
Here's what I say, that DTG, when people come to you, they want to buy a decorated garment. The majority of people don't want a screen printed garment because the majority of the end user don't know what that means. They just know that, well, to put an image on a shirt, it has to be screen printed. Well, no. If you trust me enough to use the process that I think well suits you or this garment or this job, then my job is a garment decorator. And if I think that transfer is the best option, I'm going to push you down transfer route.
Yeah.
Because you want from me a decorated product, a decorated garment, and I'll provide that. And my knowledge is greater than yours on which format to use. I hate the people who say, "Oh, it must be screen printed." Why?
Well,
and then you give them it, and you say, "Oh, it's not very clean on edges, and it's not very bright." You want a screen print?
Maybe it's a
crisp sticker.
Maybe it's a common mistake that screen printers make in the marketing strategy. And if you look at every screen printer's website, it's focused on the word screen print. We're trying to grab the people who know what screen print is. And maybe that market is actually quite limited because the majority of people just want you to make that decision for you. I just want to print a t-shirt. I don't know what the difference between DTG, DTF, screen print. It's very rare that it does happen. Customers do sometimes seek out screen printers in particular, but you must, if you survey that, you must think the majority just want a t-shirt. They don't know. So
no, I want a decorated garment. Decorate the garment for me.
And you look at every single printer's website, screen printer's website. It's all screen print keyword focused.
Screen print.
Maybe that's a mistake we all make.
Yeah, I think so.
Put too much emphasis on it.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. Luke, if you want to jump on with us, that'd be good because we'd love to have an argument with you.
Debate.
Constructive debate.
Yeah.
Right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Let's bugger off. I've got some t-shirts to print. Tony's got a flight. Well, he's got to pack his underpants away and then get on a plane and hopefully avoid any passport sagas again.
Getting to this one, I had 3 flights booked and I got up at 3 a.m. to catch a flight at 6. So I'm just packed my suitcase at 4 a.m, ready to leave the hotel. I get a message to say my flight's cancelled.
Oh, no.
So not only am I up at an ungodly hour, but they cancelled my first flight, which meant my second, and they said, "Oh, it's okay, no worries, we've got you on the next available flight tomorrow." Well, I've got 3 flights booked in the meantime, and a hotel and a car. So how does that work? So the knock-on was horrendous. And that was an airline over here called United. And in my head, I went, right, that's it. I'm not using it ever again.
Through.
And in 3 hours' time, I've got to get on a United flight. It's the only flight out. I can't get any other flight out of Albuquerque.
Absolutely typical.
So I'm flying out of Albuquerque, and if you're old enough, you'll remember Have a Cookie.
Albuquerque, have a cookie.
No?
Never heard of it.
Prefab sprout, the song.
What? No, you're just making up random words now. Prefabricated spouts with cookies and
prefab
cream.
sprout. Oh dear. Google it.
I'll Google it. When I've had this piss, which I've been ordering for half an hour, I've done well.
Well done.
Zero pisses.
You've done well. You get a little sticker.
We'll have to we'll see if we can catch hold of Bryce as well at some point, because I miss you, Bryce. I've not heard from you in a while.
Yeah, we'll have a natter.
Right then, all best. Toodle pip.
Right.
Tally-o.
I'll see there.
Ta-ra, Sivir. End session for... Oh, no, let's stop.
Oh, you keep giving me posh, no, she don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry Kool-Aid. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights. I want a chippy tea.